Peace be upon you. Welcome, our viewers. This is a new episode of and 10 nights of the Hijjah, and we welcome our host. This is the 10th episode, and unfortunately, the last episode. We welcome Sheikh Tawfiq Asayag. Hello and happy Eid for you and the viewers with all safety, security, and good life. And we were talking about rejoice and happiness in Eid, and we continue our talk in this subject. And I hope ask God to perpetuate the rejoice and smiling on the faces of all our viewers. It is desirable and say by the mercy of God, and it is better than they accumulate. When there is an event at the time of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah upon him, the care of Islam, of rejoice and happiness is registered in the life of that. The Rome were defeated and they will be victorious, and then the believers will rejoice and be happy by the victory coming from God. And we concentrate on this issue, and there are some people who has kidnapped the religion and and it is a type of being frowned, or that Sheikh so and so, he is smiling as if he is consistent with others. The religious person should be rejoiced and smiling all the time, and the prestige, there is a line which should be considered, whether from the recipient and the giver. If he has this balance, he will live the Islamic religion, the true religion. And the Prophet, as Al-Khattabi mentioned, has a prestige, and he was always enjoying and smiling, and his companions inherited that from him, and they were monks in nights, and they spent the dark night with remembrance and prayers, and in the daylights they were rejoiced and smiling. This is the integration. Every case has where it should be, and it was present in the life of our Prophet, and we mentioned aspects and his companions, and he smiled, and blessings and peace of Allah upon him. The smiling was did not depart his lips, and no one sees him without being smiling. And I don't see him ever except without any smiling. He is always smiling. And he, blessings and peace of Allah upon him, if he smiles or rejoices, as his face becomes as a part of the moon. And the companions, they were happy to get such rejoice and smiling from the Prophet. And he also was keen to take smiles from his companions. There is a companion, Zahir, was not handsome, and he came once, and he impressed him from the back, and he said, who is guide me? Who will buy the slave? Who will buy the slave? When he heard the voice of the Prophet, and he tried to make his back closer to the Prophet, and he was playing with him. I am not ugly, and nobody wants to see me, but for God you are precious, and he enters rejoice and smiling, and he gives him good news. And it is a scientific type, and this situation is not unique. If you go to Sunnah, you will find tens of such cases where the Prophet was keen to instill happiness in the hearts of his companions. And the companions were not being far from playing and rejoice. But they learned that from the Prophet, and to draw a smile on the lips. They used to joke and and I say some of them do fun or things which are ironical. And he was famous for the desert Arab. He used to come from the suburbs of Medina with having honey or dates, and he takes this goods from them. And he goes to the Prophet. He said, I have brought you a gift. And he accepts gift but does not accept a charity. And then the owner of the goods, after he asks to the Nu'ayman, and when he sits in the place of the Prophet, he sees his goods. Please bring me the cost of this. And I don't have its cost. The Prophet laughs, and he gives his goods, and or he pays the cost of it to the desert Arab. It is more than eating. And one Arabi came, and he had a she camel, and he tied the she camel beside his tent. He said, Nu'ayman, slaughter this she camel. And Nu'ayman slaughter it and prepare the meat for his companions. And the owner of he cries, and you as if you are parking your car outside, and somebody comes and takes it. And he goes to complain to the Prophet, and Nu'ayman, and he hides Nu'ayman until he goes within the stock, and the Prophet and look for Nu'ayman who committed such a crime. And they found him under the stock. What did make you do such thing? And he looks at the companion, and the Prophet laughs, and he pays the cost of the she camel to the desert Arab. They're innocent playing with Zahir and others, or Ali bin Abi Talib, that great Imam, who says the Prophet, I will give the flag tomorrow to a man whom God and his Prophet loves him, and he loves God and his Prophet. And he said to this Imam, who ascetic, who is fighter, he had a share in playing with others. And he said, he is, also bin Umar, he is a companion, and he weeps a lot, but in spite of this, he has witty craft, and he's witty, and he is smiling, and the creator of the honorable people, that he created her, and the same creator is God. This playing with words and acts was present. Tomorrow we will not have an episode. I don't know what we can conclude, But we start from the last topic which we talked about. It is rejoice and smiling and being happy. What are the things where the pilgrim should stand and think of? There are red lines, man cannot violate them. The rejoice and happiness should not be the general type. And Umar says if he does something too much, he is known of it. And these jokes on their times to worship God in on time and in leisure he may use such playful things. And after the break of the jokes which are abundant these days, be with us and we will be back after this break. Our viewers, welcome back. And from now on, and you can communicate with us through the telephone numbers which appear to you on the screen. Mahdi from Mahdi from France. Hello. Peace be upon you. Peace be upon you. Happy Eid for you. May God accept from us and from you. We are very pleased with your channel, Iqraa. May God bless you and introduce rejoice and happiness to our houses. And I am bringing always a look at your channel on TV. Thank you and thanks to those who are responsible for this channel. I have my question. We performed Hajj in 2012, I and my husband. We were with an Egyptian woman who was a pilgrim, and we were very happy. I performed the Ifada circumambulation, and on the same day we performed farewell circumambulation, and I washed myself. But on the farewell circumambulation on the same day, I didn't wash. I don't know if it is. I was very tired, I and my husband. The question is clear, Mahdi. We a question in which year? 2012. And I performed Umrah 2005. 2012 the pilgrimage. Last year. Yes. Thank you, Mahdi. Thank you very much. We have a call, Jilani from Algeria. Jilani from Algeria. Yes, peace be upon you. Peace be upon you. Happy Eid. Adha Mubarak, and may God accept from us and from you as well. Your question. I ask you to supplicate for me. And Egypt, we Algerians, we passed through this issue, and we didn't harvest from it except the orphans and the widows. And the wisdom is we passed in this, we experienced your remembrance of the Muslims and asking for supplication to your brothers. Mahdi was asking about her pilgrimage. I know it is not our subject, especially the going for circumambulation and she washed and performed further circumambulation, and the farewell circumambulation did not wash herself. It is not a condition. If she made ablution, her circumambulation is valid. Can she perform both of them on the same day? And if she, to the last time, the ifada is the last, and it can be included and use both of them. These are the issues which occur tomorrow for most pilgrims. Let us complete our talking about rejoice and happiness, and to complete what we reached before the break. Actually, it appears so many of heavy pranks, as we may call them. What are the limits of such pranks? And that slaughtered the she-camel. It is heavy. But Nu'ayman was a jurist, and he is one of the companions of the Prophet, even though, and he knows that the Prophet carries for his companions more heavier than this. And nothing, he did not forbid anything for anything requested from his companions. And this present life doesn't mean anything for him. And if he has mountains of gold and they ask him for them, he will not, hold them. He will give everything. He is the sea, and he is generous. And even if he has only his soul in his palm, he will give it. If you become generous, your generosity is to the last extent. He was generous, and if this prank is heavy, Nu'ayman knows that the Prophet and he will pay the she-camel, and even if there are 3 or 4 she-camels. But today of the expansion in these, they have jokes which are in violation to Sharia with regard to Adha or sacrifice, where of the sarcasm were related about the Udhiyah. It is a ritual. God says, he who glorifies the sons of God, it is from the righteousness of hearts. It should not go beyond the Sharia. There are red lines. They insulted some of the nations. So and so, he is from such country, and it happened from him so and so, and this is for rejoice and laughter. It is not acceptable. And this thing make it easy. This is crime and making justified as if it is ordinary thing. We don't want to be lengthy. We have Al-Hajja from Algeria. Hello, peace be upon you. Happy Eid, and I hope rejoice for all Muslims. I have several questions. From Arafat to Muzdalifah. and we throw pebbles on the devil, and we pray at the sacred precinct. I don't understand your question, Hajja. You are asking about sleeping at Muzdalifah and Al-Haram? It is clear. I will clarify it to Sheikh. Have you understood anything? No. She says that the timing of encampment at Muzdalifah, she was watching on the TV pilgrims in the Haram. It is extended to the right time that the Prophet slept in Muzdalifah and performed the prayers of the dawn. And he remained until the sun rose, and I stopped here, and it is all a standing point, but allowed for those who have necessity to leave Muzdalifah after midnight, as some jurists say, and after the absence of moon, after midnight, or after a little while, and they leave. And those who left, they are entitled to perform going forth circumambulation. And it is valid to be people there. And the people of Jeddah, Taif, and those nearby Mecca, they come on that time because they feel that Al-Masjid al-Haram is vacant and utilize this time in circumambulation. Perhaps he is performing Umrah, and the Hajj thinks that they are coming to pilgrimage. This is the answer on your question, that some of those who perform Umrah who are in the sacred precincts, and there are exceptions for pilgrims to go from Muzdalifah to Al-Haram early, after midnight. A short break, and we will continue our last episode.
Dear viewers, welcome back again in our last episode of the 10 Nights. Your Eminence Tawfiq, there is a woman called a while ago and asked, she performed pilgrimage in 2011, and there was some problems with her husband, and she feared that if these problems affected her performance in the pilgrimage, and she performed Umrah twice, had nothing to do with the question, but she wanted to perform pilgrimage 5 years later. Her question is, the new pilgrimage will eliminate the other performance of the last pilgrimage, or because people may think that if they committed mistakes during the first pilgrimage performance and they committed a new one, it will wipe these mistakes. There may find some people they perform pilgrimage after the adulthood, and then and sometime they may they take it not as serious as it's supposed to be. Therefore, if a person would like to perform pilgrimage, he may have to enhance and improve his performance every time. If one performed a new one, it will be considered as to be considered an advantage compared to the other one. That's if if one could be able to repeat his visiting to the holy places, but considering the time distance between each. As Prophet, he reminded to come and repeating the visiting to the holy sites. But this sister, she said something about her problems with her husbands. But we don't want to hear these kind of problems. We would like to hear the rejoice of this episode. But if the director can give us some time, we'd like to supplicate for those people and to achieve the Jilani supplication. We have a phone call from Mariam from France. Peace and blessings be upon you. I'd like to thank you. May Allah bless you for this valuable program. And I would like to supplicate for my mother that she left us. She passed away this month. Thank you, Sister Mariam. Your Eminence, people always ask for supplication. What is the wisdom and what is the judgment, and who we shall seek supplication? Prophet sought Umar supplication, and he reminded him, don't forget us with your supplications. So if a person assumed goodness about a person, he would ask him to supplicate for him. But we should seek Allah to accept and to receive those supplications. But sometimes you may have to deputize someone to take over the supplication for you at the holy sites, and so forth. Those holy places where supplications are answered. I would like to remind people that this day is one of the most beloved day, because Prophet said the best day is the day of slaughtering and the day of Eid and the Qar day, which is the following day. We have a phone call from Ibrahim from Saudi Arabia. Peace and blessings. How are you, Your Eminence? Blessings. How are you? Congratulations, and to you too as well. May Allah bring goodness to you all, and to you as well, and for all. May Allah accept. Thank you. Congratulations. Bless you, Ibrahim. We love you to hear you, Your Eminence. Bless you. May Allah bless you. And we love you so much. We would like to ask you for something. Go ahead. We would like to hear a little anthem, a chanting by you. No problem. May Allah honor you. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yesterday I asked Your Eminence, what is the judgment of rejoice and happiness and chanting? You said it's permissible within the judgmental borders, or the jurisprudence borders. I increased from praising, but from speeching, conducting speech, but I'm kind of exhausted. But when we went to the Jamarat, the ritual shrine, we raise our voices in praising and glorifying Allah. So when Umar used to do this, people will follow him by doing so. So Ibrahim has I owe him a right by chanting, and hopefully I can answer his call or answer his request, and I have to return this loved feelings. And Ibrahim, he broke the routine, and since he broke the routine, he requested from him, you may have to chant for us. I want to please him, not to annoy him. Abraham is a beloved one. I don't want to. He was. And I will finish up with all this. I promise you on that, Your Eminence. We will come back to this maybe in a little while after, before the end of this episode. Your Eminence, the part we were talking about, which was not to joke and make fun of people at certain group of people, and we have to market. We don't have to market some judgments, but the issue of those who consumed hashish, we cannot make fun of, for example, of polygamy, but sometimes there are something called obligatories, and those should not be exposed to be joked and laughed at and making fun of. We should not be. We fall into this trap. There are some fun situations, but chanting, but the circle of rejoice and expressing happiness is wide, but it should be within the limits. We have Duha from France. Peace and blessings be upon you. May Allah accept your pilgrimage and bless you, and may Allah accept from you and me and all of us. All of us, hopefully. I wanted to participate in the day of Arafat. I wanted you to supplicate for me and my husband. Hopefully, you didn't miss anything, because supplication for all Muslims, males and females. And some people may forget that there are times that where supplications are being considered, and especially where he was performing stoning and in the mid stage of stoning, he went to the holy mosque, and then he supplicated. I wanted you to supplicate to help me in memorizing the Quran. May Allah make you and make all of us to be among the people of the Quran. I have a wish. I wish if I can enter Makkah al-Mukarramah. May Allah make your final destination to be at Makkah al-Mukarramah by Allah's willing. I wanted to come to this country, and maybe I want to die in the Medina al-Munawwara. May Allah answer and make your wishes come true by Allah's permission. Your Eminence, go ahead. Can you hurry up with your request, please, Sister Duha? Go ahead. I wanted him to enter rejoice and happiness to my heart, and my Eid grant, just to convey my message to Sheikh Saleh and the staff, and leave your number with the control staff, so we can convey her message and we can be able to communicate with her. Don't forget me with supplication, hopefully. Don't worry about it. Before we reach to the end of this episode, Your Eminence would like to focus on something. Not like, rejoicing and happiness by backstabbing or backbiting. But when the person is not here around, and sometimes people may make fun of him while he's absent or on behind his back, and they start to cracking jokes. And these are one of the red lines. There is no backstabbing and making fun or backbiting, and there is nothing but no and using slander and obscenity. All of these are red lines which the human must surpass and avoid, because we cannot go out of the circle of what is allowed and to go to these sensitive areas. We want to have fun, to earn boons and bounties. We don't want to laugh and then we be sorry afterwards. And you cannot be able to lie, and you cannot lie in order to make people laugh. And lie to begin with, it's prohibited. And then to talk with people with the unpermissible subject. And the end in this with this end of this project, which we enjoyed your presence. We'd like to end with something, maybe a supplication, and to give out the last word in this program, maybe a verse from the Quran which you choose. Maybe these 2 minutes will have the blessings, but maybe the director will not allow us. Before I end this interview, I will greet you for this Eid, where you accompanied me in those episodes, and you considered me as a loyal and who doesn't greet people, who doesn't thank people, who doesn't thank Allah. I'd like to extend my greetings and my congratulations to you, and may Allah accept from you, and may Allah bestow His blessings upon your family, and also to the directors and the staff, and those are people of goodness where they allowed me to be there. I'd like to thank him one by one. Supplications are extended to the viewers who asked me for supplications. I will never forget them while I'm standing in this holy site. I may ask Allah to bestow His generosity and His mercy over them, and may prevent them from any evils or any may Allah combine us with to be a company of the Prophet while we are drinking from the water which will never be dried. I may ask Allah Almighty to make us to have us with livelihood and boons, and prevent us from any sins and mischiefs. And may Allah bring us back to this holy site, and to give those who have the thirst to be there and accept from them, and forgiving their sins, and to facilitate all matters for us. May Allah, peace, prayers and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad. We will be with you in a new programs. Dear viewers, thank you for following us for those 10 nights, past 10 nights. We hope that we can be with you on other occasions. Iqraa broadcast continues until tomorrow, by Allah's willing. I wish you happy times.